Volk begnadet für das schöne, viel gerühmtes Österreich. Viel gerühmtes Österreich.
IVSA Belgium.
Heilig Land der Wahl, unsere Seele hat uns abzählig bereit, Anfang und Schacht, deine Blut war unser Heil. Jesus, du, der Arbeit deines Rechts, wie du in Urlaub, in den Grab, het wordt getrouwd, het moet wegen, voor ons, voor wij en voor het.
IVSA China.
Nieba nasza domowino, o junaczka, zemljo mila, stare slave djedovino, da bi vas da sretna bila, mila kano sina slavna, mila si nam ti jedina. Mila kuda si nam ravna, mila kuda si planina.
IVSA Czech Republic.
Zemský raj, to na pohled, a to je ta krásná země, země česká, domov můj, země česká, domov můj.
IVSA Denmark.
Vårt gamle Danmark skal bestå, så længe urens spejler sit op i bølgen blå, sit op i bølgen blå. Kui kaunis olet ei leia minä iakea, se suure laia ilmapea,
Moni armas Oleksa, Kuisamu Isama.
IVSA Finland.
Oi mesu misinima, soi sana kultainen. Ei laksa, ei kula, ei vettä rakkakaa, kuin kotimaan tää pohjoinen, maakallisisien.
IVSA France.
Dans de la patrie, le jour de gloire
Because it has a very small script in it.
contre nous de la tyrannie.
Oh.
L'étendard sanglant élevé, l'étendard sanglant élevé. Entendez-nous dans nos campagnes, fugitifs et féroces soldats, qui viennent jusque dans nos bras, égorger nos fils et nos compagnes. Aux armes des citoyens, formez nos bataillons, marchons, marchons, qu'un sang impur abreuve nos sillons.
IVSA Germany.
Eines Recht und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland. Danach lasst uns alle streben, brüderlich mit Herz und Hand. Einigkeit, Recht und Freiheit sind des Glückes Untertan. Für den ganzen dieses Glückes, für deutsches Vaterland.
IVSA Ghana.
Lord bless our home of Ghana. Make our nation great and strong. Oh, to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Love will truly make us cherish fearless honesty. Help us to resist oppression and my forever. Help us to resist oppression and my forever.
IVSA Greece.
Esa brota, Andromedi, quiero que esa brota, Andromedi, quiero que esa brota, Andromedi, quiero que
IVSA Indonesia.
Indonesia, tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi pandu hidupku. Indonesia kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku. Marilah kita bersatu, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya, untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
IVSA Iraq. Welcome. IVSA Italia.
Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia celesta, nell'ermo principio se cinta la destra, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma che schiava di Roma, il Dio la creò. Bolom, 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 bolom. Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia celesta, nel municipio se cinta la testa, dove la vittoria che porga la chioma, che schiava di Roma, il Dio la creò. Siamo alla morte, l'Italia chiamò. Si giancia corte, siamo pronti alla morte, siamo pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò.
IVSA Netherlands.
Helmets from NASA with any combats and boots. And Father on skirts, our flag victory and goes. And Prince above, oh, the very flag home perfect. The golden bomb is fine, happy all thanks is.
IVSA Poland.
Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, kiedy my żyjemy. Co nam obca przemoc wzięła, żadną odbierzemy. Nasz Dąbrowski, z ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za twoim przewodem złączył się z narodem.
IVSA Portugal.
Heróis do mar, nobre povo, nação valente e imortal, levantai hoje de novo o esplendor de Portugal. Entre as brumas da memória, ó Pátria, sente-se a voz dos teus igrejos avós, que hão de guiar-te à vitória, às armas, sobre a terra e sobre o mar. Às armas, pela pátria a lutar, contra os canhões marchar.
IVSA Romania. IVSA Satma.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous sky, the rebels we watched were so gallantly streaming. Let the Rockies proclaim the mercy came through to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good Adam. IVSA Sabah.
Melupakan isu konowayo, izwa imitanda zoyetu, kosi, sikerela, tina, sapowayo, morena moluka sechaka saisu, ufeti skeptin swade matre, Sepuluke, sejabasa, Esu, sejabasa, South Africa, South Africa. Glorify Monseigneur, Digita Monsieur, this body concert Antwerp here. Sounds a call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
IVSA South Korea.
Go
How do you say Spain?
Cataluña triunfas, tu naràs ser rica i plem, ben bé les eines. Bon cop de fals, defensors de la terra, bon cop de fals.
How do you say Switzerland?
Letzten Morgen Mutter her, sich dem Strand her, ich Geruch erhabener Herrlicher. Wenn da ich 40 Böte, mit der freie Schweizer bietet, eure fromme Seele an, eure fromme Seele an, dich Gott Herr im Vaterland, Gott der Herr im Vaterland.
How do you say Thailand? How do you say Thailand? How do you say Tunisia?
حماة الحمى يا حماة الحمى هلموا لمجد الزمن لقد صرخت في عروقنا الدماء نموت ويحيا الوطن إذا الشعب يوما أراد الحياة فلا بد أن يستجيب القدر ولا بد للخيل أن ينجلي ولا بد للقيد أن ينكسر حماة الحمى يا حماة الحمى هلموا لمجد الزمن لقد صرخت في عروقنا الدماء نموت ويحيا الوطن.
How do you say Turkey?
Sönmez bu şafak, darda yüzen sancak, sönmeden yurdumun üstünde biter ne son ocak o benim milletimin yıldızıdır parlayacak o benim din o benim milletimin ancak çatma kurban olayım.
Şehrini ey nasıl diyar, kahramanlıkına büyükünde. Şiddet bu celal sana olmaz dökülen kan.
IVSA UK Island.
God save our gracious Queen, Lord with our noble Queen. God save the Queen. The victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
IVSA Latvia. IVSA Serbia.
Bože, pravde ti što spase, od propasti dosad nas, čuj od sad naše glase, i od sad nam budi spas. Moćnom rukom vodi brani budućnosti srpske brod. Bože spasi, Bože brani, moliti se srpski rod.
We have reached quorum at 61%.
Okay, next up on the agenda is nominations for the Executive Committee 2019-2020. The chair will now accept nominations. Are there any nominations? Laura.
First by the IVSA from, I would like to nominate Serena Lutz for the post of treasurer of IVSA 13.
Kitty, do you accept?
Yes.
Katie, how do you play your name? First?
Katerina.
Okay, got it. Right. Thank you. Okay. Okay, are there any other nominations for the Executive Committee? Ryan, is that a hand? Yeah, Ryan.
Convention IVSA South Korea. I'd like to nominate Christopher Pantelakis for Euro.
Chris, do you accept? Now I have to spell your name. Right? Something like that. Oh, we got the thing, we're good.
No, it's more competitive. It's
Okay,
good.
thank
I like
you.
it. Because I need to
Wanna
be
talk
sure
again?
automatically intellect.
Good job. Are there any other nominations for the Executive Committee 2019-2020?
No, no, I won't.
Last chance. When we close nominations this time, they're really close.
Oh. Careful.
Okay, seeing none, nominations are closed. Is there a hand back there? Yeah, what's up?
One moment.
Yeah, but she was raising her hand before.
Okay, well, are there any nominations? Go for it. Why not? Yeah. Good. She wants to nominate somebody.
And I would like to nominate Mira from IVSA Suleiman. I'm Luna from IVSA Suleimania. I would like to nominate Mira from IVSA Suleimania for MOD.
Miran, do you accept? Miran, I don't know your last name, is it? Okay, are there any more nominations? If there are, wave your hand wildly. No, no more drum rolls. Okay, seeing none, nominations are really, really closed. Settle down. She's not even elected yet. She's about to be there. Okay, so for the position of Secretary General, there is only one nominee. So Kylie Small, IVSA Savma, is elected without a vote. For all other positions for the Executive Committee, presentations will be in GA5. Yeah, Kylie will still have to talk, but she's already elected. Okay, I'm sorry. Settle down. Okay, next up, nominations for Secretariat 2019-2020. The chair will now accept nominations. Are there any? JB.
Hi, Jean-Baptiste Eon, IVSA France. I want to nominate Simon Reckelmeyer from IVSA Germany for secretary.
Simon, do you accept? Nothing like that.
Which day?
Right? I'm not going to do that. Get over it.
Yeah.
Not you, that's you.
Maybe not. Every time. Simon, are you satisfied or do you want the umlaut on it? Thank you for allowing me to do that. Are there any more nominations for Secretariat? Lord, always nominating.
Lord Chevalier, IVSA France, I would like to nominate Emily Freeman from IVSA Savma for the first Secretariat.
Emily, do you accept? Are there any more nominations for Secretariat? Julian.
Julia Neves, IVSA Switzerland. I'd like to nominate Jackie Hoosens, IVSA Belgium for Secretariat.
No way I can tell you.
Listen, that's not the cause.
Okay, I got it right. Nailed it. Okay, next. Yes. You too.
Alessandro Di Carlo, IVSA Milan. I want to nominate Yassine Swisi from IVSA Tunisia for secretary.
Do you accept? I don't know your last name. What's your last name? Okay, great. Next, Vincenzo.
Vincenzo Gaeta, IVSA Italy. I want to nominate Glenn Nicholas and Quest today for proceed from IVSA Ghana for the position of secretary.
Glenn, do you accept? Hey, Glenn. Glenn, what's your last name? We're spelling it Okay, we did it. Thank you. Are there any more nominations for Secretariat? Wave your hand wildly or like yell. I'm gonna close it. Yeah, get in there. You have to stand up then?
Glenn J. from IVSA Ghana. I want to nominate Gus for secretariat.
You want to attempt Gus's full name?
IVSA Indonesia. Bagus Satrio Vivo. It's Bagus, B-A-G-U-S.
I can.
Oh, this is security stuff.
SATRIOW. No space. Backspace, space. Oh, yeah, okay. WIBOWO. Okay, from IVSA Indonesia.
Oh.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any more nominations for Secretariat? We can almost fill the page. Seeing none, nominations are closed. Presentations will be in GA5. Next up, nominations for trust. The chair will now accept nominations for trust. Are there any nominations? Jessica.
Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. I nominate Jacqueline Sankwa for as an IVSA Exco for trustee.
Jackie, do you accept?
Both Charlotte and Ryan is not.
Are there any more nominations? Katie.
Ryan and Charlotte is not.
Katie Lewis, IVSA Germany. I nominate Kirsten Abraham from IVSA Austria.
Kirsten, do you accept?
Yes, I can.
Are there any more nominations?
Gonçalo, IVSA Portugal. I would like to nominate Perry Keller from IVSA staff.
Where do you accept?
Hell yeah, I do. That's my real name. Burns. I'm not putting motion. Okay, great. Any more nominations for Georgios?
Judges for Tadam, IVSA Thessaly. I would like to nominate Panagiotis Galatsanos for trust.
Dennis, do you accept?
That's fun.
Another written I can't nomination. But now we will have to vote on also.
I think
No, they're not included in the list.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but
I'm not accepting. Okay. Are there any more nominations for trust? Waiver being wildly. Last chance. Nobody. Okay, seeing none, nominations are closed. Fourth. There are more than 6 nominees that were past members of the executive committee, which means according to the bylaws, the nominees that were not on the executive committee previously are invalid. So, I'm sorry, but Charlotte and Ryan, their nominations are now invalid.
Yeah, well.
Okay. The bylaws state that if there are more than 6 nominees that are past members of the executive committee, that all other nominations are invalid. And if there are less than 6, then all past EXCO members are elected without a vote. So in this case, there are 7 nominees that are past members of the executive committee. So there has to be a vote because there can only be 6, but any that aren't past EXCO members can't even be nominated. If you would like more information, make a parliamentary inquiry. Kirsten.
First, I have is the Austria parliamentary inquiry, please. It's like that. I don't think they want it.
Okay, so the line in the bylaws is if there are more than 6 nominees for the trust, but less than 6 nominees who have held a position in the EXCO, those nominees who have held a position in the EXCO would be elected without a vote. If 6 or more members who have held a position in the EXCO are nominated for a trust position, the nominations of all nominees who have not held a position in the EXCO are invalidated.
Is that a better explanation? Yes, Gus.
Bagus Satria Wibowo from IVSA Indonesia. Could you please explain it better because I'm still not getting it.
I can make an amendment. So the trust is like the advising body for EXCO. So it's designed to preferentially be people that were previously on EXCO to advise them. So that's how the bylaws are written. so that if there are people running that were on EXCO previously, they would be preferentially elected over people that were not. In this case, there are enough people running that anyone who wasn't on EXCO previously is less preferred according to the bylaws. Daniel.
Daniel Mann, I will say EXCO point of order. Panos is unfortunately not a paying member of IVSA alumni, and therefore is not eligible to be nominated for the position of trust.
Panos, I call on you and then do it. Panos.
Yes. I must say, because I cannot see on the bylaws whether there are one I pay on your salary.
Can you repeat that?
From what I see in the bylaws, I don't see any requirements for membership of the trust. Membership or no membership. So I would like to make a parliamentary inquiry then, I suppose, about the how valid is the statement.
That is the way to do it.
Thank you.
We will do a parliamentary inquiry. Brandon, look it up. In the meantime, any more questions? Jordan.
Jordan, IVSA and IVSA Trust. I'd like to ask, again, another parliamentary inquiry about ex officios, and just what the bylaws refer to about ex officios.
In what context?
In the context of membership.
Okay. Thank you. Brandon, look both of those up. Get Googling. Hannah, do you have another comment?
What stands on the bylaws is that any valid delegate or member of EXCO may nominate a member for a trustee position. So based on this, you could kick me out. That's good. Do you get my point?
Yes, and I think that's why Jordan asked if being ex officio makes you more automatically a member. And that's why we're going to continue the parliamentary inquiry. Because we don't know the The chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Kelly. Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections to standing at ease? We're at ease. You can chat amongst yourselves. Please don't leave if you represent a country, but if you have to pee, go really quickly.
And if you want to write the back, this paper is right here.
There you are.
But I was just like
I agree. But
because I feel like
because he was very good.
okay. Yeah, but I think he's winning, right? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
crazy.
The Daniel now is still around.
I don't know if I want to do that way. Check something more private. I don't know. Maybe it's just
But
like
it's only one person will be kicked out.
yeah, it looks like it's very personal. Like when you can don't have Hi, you got a new phone. Congrats. And really cheap one.
I have a charger, yes, but
Looks like it's working.
Yeah, no.
yeah, I'm getting it today. My name's Jan.
Jan?
Yes, Jan. With a W.
Yeah.
I wanted to nominate Leon for Secretary General.
I was about to say, why did you do secretary? But secretary general is just crazy. Everyone
That's why there's only one nomination.
How many secretaries are there? Elected? How many secretaries get elected?
50.
No, like 50.
No, what's the best nominated?
Oh, shit, elected. Elected.
We have a team and we only have the 8 positions.
Maybe we should just talk to him and explain.
It's going to be a long election. People need to still send this up there. I have sent you money. And the name and shame you, man. Publicly in the US.
I don't think it's very obvious. I don't think it's very obvious.
Miriam doesn't give
Go
a
ahead.
damn. Oh no.
Go ahead. I still don't care.
Miriam just doesn't give a shit.
I think other things are more important in my life.
Like what? Ellen misspelled second. Ellen misspelled second. You think I can correct that? She's misspelled second. Second. Am I allowed?
You can just enough.
Well, this is Ellen. So I have misspelled. We didn't speak
They can make mistakes. See what they have.
You also misspelled this step. You think I should?
Panos. When? Panos. When did you graduate? We found probably the same bylaw amendment, the bylaw you found. Right, you were 2 years following July 2019. Or following July 2017.
This is so unnecessary. We're going wrong, not that. I say, no, swap this and I probably get to answer to the boxes.
What currency do you
Euro.
No, but the part from Google is this.
No, there's this website.
Hey OC, would you mind trying to get everyone back in here? They weren't really supposed to leave anyway.
Through WhatsApp?
Oh, yeah, to the website.
Simon, don't you dare walk out that door. Sit down. No. Nope, go sit down. We're gonna have a 10-minute break soon anyway. You'll be okay.
Sorry,
Hold on.
maaf.
Jadi yang presentasiin biasanya apa? Kayak apa yang udah pernah aku lakuin?
Sekretariat. Nina.
Nina's not here.
Everybody sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Friends, get in your seat, friends. Yeah, JB, talking to you. Go sit down. Yeah.
Abang presentasi itu, cepet banget sih kamu sekretariat tuh. Kenalan, motivasi kamu. Pas sekretariat sih aku mikirnya lebih ke branding sih. Orang nggak terlalu dengerin sih, tapi kamu berpesan gitu. Kamu motivasi kamu jadi sekretariat apa?
Aku tuh masih kalau IVSA ini agak apa? Masih ini proses. Gimana kalau aku jelasin ya? Kayak nggak ada enforcement. Enforcement ya. Aku kemarin diserahin sama Taufik soal amendment yang dia buat kalau mau ngapa-ngapain harus lapor ke MUI. Nggak pernah itu, nggak pernah terjadi. Nggak pernah itu. Ini makanya aku mikirin enforcement, accountability sama ya itu sih aku. Karena ya ini ada yang nggak bayar. Kalau nggak di enforce, dia masih kita sih. Tapi ya enforcementnya harus kasih warning gitu.
Are you down the five?
Ya. Juga apa? Kadang-kadang masa aku mikir antara FGA itu kan harusnya kan punya kitnya sendiri. Dia itu sangat spesial. Dia itu cuma buat pada kebutuhan khusus sama satu tapi dia aku mikir mending itu dikeluarin aja dari session FGA, keluarin terus kita buat aturan-aturan apa yang diperlukan supaya FGA ini bisa jalan.
If the people at the top are hot, you can move down again. I don't know if it's nicer today, but don't complain. You're in the cooler zone. Whiny German.
Pas strategi planning gitu-gitu, itu semuanya general semua, tapi emang ada hal itu. Dan nanti kalau misalnya kamu jadi sekretariat, itu kamu bisa ngomong kayak gitu, tapi tetap keputusan dia. Dan jadi nanti kamu pas sekretariat kamu jangan bilang kayak gitu. Brandingnya kamu yang membantu ekspor.
Okay, the chair calls the GA order at 9:26 Croatia time. The thrilling conclusion to that discussion is he paid his membership fees and is now a member, so we're just going to have a normal election. No. Nominations for those positions are closed, so we can't go back and re-nominate people. EXCO does. If an EXCO position is not, if someone running for EXCO is not elected, they are automatically in the running for secretariat unless they opt out of it. But not the trust people.
I would trust them to be secretary.
Now, nominations for chairs of committees and working groups from 2020. The chair will now accept nominations. Are there any nominations?
Getting roles since IVSA in Belgium, I'd like to nominate Georgios Kosian from IVSA Thessaly for chair of SCOCA.
Georgios, do you accept?
This fits for him.
Okay, Georgios, is that your name? Okay, great. Are there any more nominations for committee or working group chairs? Seeing none, nominations are closed. As there is only one nominee for chair of SCA, Laure Chevalier, IVSA France, is elected without a vote. As there is only one nominee for chair of SCOBY, Dauda Onowola, IVSA Nigeria, is elected without a vote. And as there is only one nominee for chair of SCOPA, Georgios Kossadam, IVSA Greece, is elected without a vote. The chair will now accept nominations for Symposium 1.5 years away. Are there any nominations? Shipping? What? You have a comment? You can make a comment as well.
Jacqueline Wilson's IVSA in Belgium. I'd like to see the report cards on all the nominees.
Oh,
Please.
okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'll explain really quickly. All past officials have report cards that describe their performance, and a member of the GA can request that they're published, and then you can review them all before you vote. So you can see if past officials were doing a good job or not. Only the past year. Yeah. Okay. Are there any nominations for Symposium 1.5 years away? Seeing none, nominations are closed. As there is only one nominee, IVSA Indonesia is elected without a vote. Next, nominations for Congress 2 years away. The chair will now accept nominations. Are there any nominations? Keep in mind, these nominations stay open through Morocco, where the election actually happens. So there's plenty more time to nominate for this one. Seeing none nominations are closed, they will be open again in the next GA. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess for 10 minutes. Anika.
Anika, you're done. IVSA South Africa.
Any discussion on going into recess? Any objections to going into recess? We're in recess. 10 minutes, be back when that clock is 9:45.
No.
Yeah.
Get up, get up, get up. Jacqueline.
Georges, you didn't told me.
Huh?
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I think basically told like 2 people
I told Miriam, Lisa about running, and the girl that nominated me. So that was it. I'm like, I have my secrets. Yeah, I really didn't know if I was gonna go for it or not, and especially up until I talked to both Miriam and Lisa, I was, you know, on the verge of it. So basically, 100% decided on that right before we went into GA. So yeah. Thanks.
One more year.
Yeah.
IVSA.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some rest and see you.
Yeah. Hah?
Itu gimana?
Hah?
Itu anaknya.
Kenapa?
Aku kaget tahu.
Anjir, kaget.
Aku kaget cuy. Dia tiba-tiba bilang ke aku kayak pas Ferry udah bilang ini ada lagi nggak yang mau dinominasiin sekretari, dia bilang kayak I really want to do a secretary. Terus aku kan kayak cuman diem aja. Terus dia tiba-tiba nonyor ini si Glenn. Gitu. Nominasiin aku dong.
Barusan?
Bener-bener barusan banget. Makanya aku shock banget. Aku bener-bener shocknya gila. Nggak kayak nggak paham lagi. Bahkan dia tuh kayak ini deh, sekarang dia lagi ngobrol kan sama orang-orang. Dia bilang, bahkan dia tuh kayak, aku punya ide ini. Terus orang-orang tuh bilang, lah itu udah ada, ini udah ada. Aku mikir, ya ampun, nggak tahu apa-apa. Aku maksudnya, aku kan ada niat, tapi aku consider a lot of things gitu loh.
Makanya aku mikir kamu kan maksudnya udah pernah datang apa gitu loh. Ngerti ya?
Aku consider a lot of things dan aku kayaknya mikir belum siap kalau sekarang dan masih banyak waktu gitu kan.
Udah banyak waktu kapan?
Ya udah maksudnya aku juga harus pegang simposium gitu loh. Dan aku ya I know my limit lah intinya. Terus
sebenarnya tadi nggak ada yang daftar dulu nggak apa-apa.
Iya.
Sampai
aku shock banget dan masalahnya ini dia kayak bilang aku tuh pengen merubah IVSA karena menurutku kita tuh sekarang udah order banget organisasi ini kayak gini. Terus dia bilang kayak aku aja nggak bisa akses itu by law itu kayak buat publik nggak dipublish terus kayak aku udah bilang kayak
semangat ya, I'll be leaving soon.
Hah? Tidak.
Iya kan? Berarti nanti anak-anak.
Kan masih ada IVSA.
Enggak maksudnya. Berarti kan dia bakal masuk ke IVSA tim kan?
Kalau
pilih, tapi kalau saya pilih masuk grup IVSA tim.
tapi kalau menurutku kayak
Nggak tahu sih, ada kesempatan sih. Saya dari kemarin kan banyak lah nama Indonesia gitu. Disebut terus, simposium lah, Mitanya lah, akunya lah. Sekali orang mikirnya kayak tuh udah kebanyakan Indonesia nih. Nanti aku ngatain ke dianya. Kalau sekretaris itu
Hey, OC, can you make everyone come back?
kalau sekretaris itu kamu kerjanya bantu Exkom aja. Bukan.
tapi aku yakin dia aja nggak tahu ada sekretaris buat apa aja. Dia belum searching kan? Yeah, it's like you have to know what are you preparing for university.
I'm not like going.
Aku harus presentasi apa kan?
Kalau yang PR lain lah.
Udah, aku aku langsung voice note. Aku langsung voice. Lihat deh, Mori langsung kayak.
Dia nanya nggak, terus itu orang gimana?
Go to a seat.
Itu lah apa namanya? Itu lah apa namanya? Aku kirim deh. Mori, semangat ya. Ada member baru nih di IVSA tim. Apa tuh saya mau? Shock asli ketika Maba yang pengen join semua itu aku waktu dia tuh pas dia dulu gitu aku udah ketemu tadi terus dia ayamnya lanjut ya tapi dari awal dulu yang pengen saya lakukan dan dia kedua dari dan ada yang mau yang saya ingin buat kayak gitu.
Lisa, are there a lot of people out there? Okay. Okay, everybody be quiet. We're doing it. Get in your seats. If you're not sitting, you're wrong. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. You're rocking the boat. Okay, the chair calls the GA to order at 9:45 Croatia time. Continuing with the agenda, Martha.
Martha Janusz, IVSA Expo. I'd like to move the point on partner presentation. I move the point on partner presentation, Federation of Veterinarians in Europe to before voting on the best factor.
Any discussion on moving the agenda point? Any objections to moving the agenda point? Seeing none, agenda point moved.
I'd like to introduce you to Despina from the Federation of Veterinarians in Europe. It's one of our partner organizations, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about what they do and how we're involved with them. But I do want to say, like, especially for our European members, they've made quite a lot, and they do provide a lot of opportunities for IVSA members. So, yeah, I'll give her the floor. Let's give her a warm welcome.
So, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for this invitation. I'm really pleased to be here with you today, together with so many students. And maybe I have to introduce a little bit myself. I am a veterinarian as well. I graduated exactly on 27th of July of 2000. That makes a couple of years ago. Since then, I started with my own veterinary practice in Greece. I graduated from the University of Thessaloniki in Greece, and I started that. Who is? And then I started with my veterinary practice. I was there for about 7 years and a half until I moved to Brussels for family reasons. But this was apparently what I used to say as the reason to leave my practice. The truth was that I looked also forward for new challenges. So in 2010, I started in the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe as a veterinary policy officer, and I'm still there. I work with many things, but mainly I'm involved in issues related to veterinary medicine, the antimicrobial resistance, One Health, and certainly education. And that is the reason why I was really excited when Magda sent me that email and invited me to come here and speak to you about the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe, but also for another reason, because it happens that I'm still a student, as I'm now doing my PhD in the University of Ghent about veterinary education. So I consider myself a little bit one of you. So I would like to start my presentation a little bit about our profession, because Magda told me, okay, come and present at me. And to be honest, I wouldn't like to make a presentation like the ones we do to the European institution, starting with FVE is the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe and so on. I think that we have to really feel what FVE is for us, at least for the European members, but with the connections that we have with all the organizations around the world, I think it's important for everyone. So, if someone comes to you and says, what a veterinarian is, what would you reply? I would like to hear some answers here. Superhero. Good, yeah. Actually, that is what we are in the end. But how will you make them understand what we do?
Food safety, everything.
Yeah.
The important link between animals and humans. So either caring for them or securing like food security, health.
Exactly. A veterinarian is much more than an animal doctor. But this is, at a large extent, what the public believes. A veterinarian is an animal doctor. Someone that cares for dogs, cats, cows, sometimes. They're not all sure about that. And things like that. And that is important for us to start marketing ourselves, start saying what we do, because we do much more. And that is clearly depicted in the first FE demographic survey that was held in 2015, when it showed that 60% of the veterinarians work in veterinary practice, and the rest of 40% it's in other positions like public services, education and research, industry that makes pharmaceutical industry, meat industry, whatever kind of industry, and even other roles, like my role, for example, which is policy. So it's important to understand that. Also, as a student, you see that there are more options than going to the practice, but also to use this information to show your knowledge and what are your capabilities. We have a follow-up of this first survey, and the trend seems to be similar, if not a little bit going down. So still 58%, in the preliminary results, we see that 58% of the veterinarians go in practice and the rest in other functions. Currently, we are at the analysis of those results. The survey was launched in 2018, and the full report is expected to be presented by October this year. So keep that in mind, because it might be interesting, as there are some specific questions for young graduates, like, for example, when you start with your first permanent position and things like that. It might be interesting for you to have a look and to explore further. So FVE works towards that direction, and we had a campaign a few years ago trying to show to the people that veterinarians are actually everywhere. And FVE, this is why represents the whole veterinary profession across its diversity, not only the practitioners, every veterinarian. How we do it? We have a structure similar to the IVSA structure, to understand. Like IVSA represents every veterinary student in the world, like that FVE represents about 300,000 veterinarians in Europe, through their national veterinary associations. So these are national veterinary associations or veterinary chambers. We have 48 members in 40 European countries, so that goes even beyond EU. Within FV, we have also 4 sections. Each one of them represents a vital part of the profession. So UEVP represents the practitioners, UEVH the hygienists, as well the European Association of State Veterinary Officers, and TEVERI, the veterinarians working in education, research, and industry. And is this last mentioned section, EVERI, that has a more close connections with IVSA, and we really care. We have adopted you, and we make the liaison also to FVE, and we're very happy about that. FVE strives to represent the whole profession through one voice and present our one issue. Veterinarians overall through FV strive to enhance animal health, animal welfare, and protect the public health and protect the environment. We are really a One Health profession. And from discussions we have One Health, we always see that veterinarians understand this concept much better than the other professions that still are in the process, and somehow they learn from us. So we are very important in this area. This is why FV has as a logo, it has as a logo, veterinarians care for animals and people. We help veterinarians in their daily life by supporting them to deliver their services and responsibilities within the society. In order to do that, we have again a similar structure like IVSA, and I bring this example because it's easy then to understand how it works. We have our General Assembly, where all our members form it, a board, which is responsible for putting forward the decisions taken by the General Assembly. We have internal working groups and committees that advise and help the board in their responsibilities, and of course the office, who help all the board to deliver and implement all the decisions and activities. In the office, we are currently 5 people, 4 veterinarians and 1 office manager. And all together within FV, we work in order to provide scientific advice and form positions and advocate for issues like animal health, animal welfare, public health, One Health eventually, professional responsibilities of the veterinarians, and of course veterinary education. Except for these internal deliberations, we have also discussions with external parties, and we have a really big network. We liaise with other veterinary associations like EAV, WBA, the World Veterinary Association, FECAVA, which is for the companion animals, many organizations in Europe, but also outside Europe, like the AVMA, the CVMA, which is the American and the Canadian Veterinary Association, and also the Australian Veterinary Association. We also collaborate with other professional organizations and NGOs similar to FV that represent other parties, like the doctors, the dentists, the farmers, animal welfare organizations. And we are certainly the liaison between the veterinary profession and the European institutions that are the policy makers. And also we contribute and have a very close relationship with all international organizations involved in health, meaning the OIE, the World Organization for Animal Health, the WHO for Human Health, and the FAO, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. And these are only some of the organizations. There are many more that we have close connections. FE tries all the time to have an active communication, both internally, but also with all the stakeholders and policymakers that I mentioned before. And we do that with bilateral meetings, but also through our communication channels, the FE website, Facebook, Twitter, press releases. So use this information, it's available to everyone, and you can have close information and all the time and real-time information of what goes on with regard to the veterinary profession in Europe. But one of the organizations that we have close connection is IVSA, and of course I would like to focus a little bit more on that. And we care about students. This is why we at least meet within our TAs. IVSA participate our EVERY and FBGA at least. We have several joint initiatives. In the past, we have launched some surveys. We have open channels of communication all the time. EVERY in particular organizes external practical training for students. I will tell you a bit more in the next slide about this. We also host the IVSA headquarters in Brussels, and often FE offers intensive opportunities for European veterinarians interested to see how Brussels bubble works. So, about the EVERY external practical training, this is of direct interest to you because it's an initiative that EVERY has taken in order to familiarize students with less common and less familiar areas of veterinary medicine. In the past, we had organized this kind of trainings, which is a 2-week external practical training in a place that it's arranged by EVERY, and EVERY grants an amount for the interested veterinarians that are selected to go there. Laboratory animals was the first area that was explored and started some years ago. In the meantime, more opportunities have been developed, like in aquaculture, and this takes place in Norway. In this, which takes place in Croatia, here, and Professor Ivana, you will help me with the last name because it's quite difficult, organizes that. One in Czech Republic on public health and food safety, and one in UK, it's an introduction in veterinary policy making. This last one has an open call at this moment. You will receive information via EVERY very soon, but the information is already available on the EVERY website. It is open for applications until 5 of November. So if you are interested, feel free to go on this link and check if you are eligible and apply for this external training. Additionally, FE in the last years organizes together with NSD NSD Scholarship Award. This is to say $5,000, which is granted to 36 students. Currently, this opportunity is open for applications until 30 of October. So go there, check it, spread the information also to your fellows, and we will be happy to receive your applications. And maybe you were lucky and you can get $5,000 grant. Last but not least, you may be aware that together with IVSA and other organizations, the counterparts in the dental and veterinary and medical profession, we had organized last year in December the first open debate on implementation of One Health in undergraduate education. That event was very successful. We had some very good discussions and conclusions. And this year we repeat that for another region of Europe. This time we go to Eastern Europe. We would like to have IVSA joining this event, so students from Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia would be welcome, delegates. This is an invitation open event, so I would say in collaboration with the IVSA Expo, see about who is interested and let us know to keep the seats, reserve the seats for you. The event will take place in Warsaw on 4th of December this year, as we said. We really would like to see you there, and maybe Daniel, that participated the previous event, can give you some insights and motivate you to come and join us this time as well. And with this, I would like to thank you once again for this invitation. It was really a pleasure to be with you. I wish you all the best with your studies, with your endeavors, and I really wish you to find your way through in your career and life, because also the whole life is important. It's not only about career. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions for Despina? Jordan?
Hi, Despina. I'm Jordan Egan. I was Secretary General last year. And I just want to say thank you very much for coming to talk to us today and sharing these opportunities, because it's really great that you're here to explain it in a better way than we can. But also, I wanted to ask, I was working as Secretary General with the FBE, with the Young Vet Network, and it was in its infancy. I was wondering if you can give us an update on that at all, if you know anything about it. The FBE Europe Young Vet Network.
Yes, okay, there were some changes with regard to this particular project, and actually the FBE board took the decision to stop this project for the moment, or at least stop the way that it was delivered, because this particular project was meant to be a virtual network, and people were met only through telephone conferences, and apparently this didn't work very well. The same happened for similar project under the Vet Futures project that they were running again as virtual working groups. So we saw that this was not efficient and didn't deliver any results. And the board, the previous board, because now we have a new board of FV since June, of General Assembly in June, decided to stop it. The new board will decide on the way that they will go on with this project in the future. So as soon as we have more information, we will certainly share that with you, and you can count that IVSA will be on the board.
Any other questions? All right. Then just on behalf of IVSA, thank you very much for making this trip here. I know it was a rough trip. And we really do appreciate everything that you and FBE does for us.
Okay, next on the agenda, voting on the base factor. Daniel.
So good pre-noon to everyone. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is not. So I hope you guys are all awake because this is gonna have an impact on your membership fees for next year. Okay? So base factor. What is the base factor? Well, it's used in calculating the membership fees for both individual supported members, so those are individuals becoming a part of IVSA, and for member organizations. The base factor is used along with a GDP factor and a size factor. What that means is basically just that we bracket different income levels and then give them a number and use that number in the calculation. The same with the size. Any questions regarding that? No? Cool. At the moment, the base factor is 35. Our dear Chair Perry made it 35 last year. I suggest to keep it the same because it got quite a hike from 25 to 35 last year, and I don't see a reason to increase it to 36 this year. I don't know if anyone in the GA has anything to amend to that. I think, oh yeah. I move to keep the base factor as 35 for the next term.
Is there any discussion on factor? Tina?
Tina, IVSA Denmark. For the new people, can you explain how you base your base factor for 35 last year? What's the argument for that?
Okay, yeah, I did that. So during my term as treasurer, we had significant financial issues that meant we were like canceling going to events and stuff because we couldn't afford it. So we decided that it would make a lot more sense until we have sponsors to make the members pay for the organization they want to be a part of. So I increased the membership fee to what is still a very low amount per person. It worked out previously with a base factor of 25 that some members were paying 7 euro cents to be a member. So even with this, it became like 13 cents a person. You know, it wasn't like a huge deal, but it was a big deal for IVSA. The total increase was massive. So it's sustaining us, and that's why I increased it. Does that answer your question? Great. Katie, get on up there. I don't have a microphone for you. Come on, run. She needs it now. He's got a fan, look, it's right there.
Katie Lewis, IVSA Germany. I also recommend not to increase the base factor because that meant that our membership fee for IVSA Germany has increased a lot, which caused quite a discussion in our country. And if we increase even more, then I don't know if we want to pay.
Thank you. It was a huge discussion in Fatima too, and I'm the one that did it. So I understand. Any more discussion on the base factor? Yes.
Loren from Canada, IVSA Switzerland. I have a question on the GDP factor. How do you form that?
Okay, so a quick explanation of what the GDP factor is. What we do is we take the highest GDP in IVSA, that is currently Switzerland, and then we could get Luxembourg in here. We don't. So it's Switzerland for the moment, but we take the GDP, like the gross domestic product of the country, divided by the gross domestic product of Switzerland, and then we use that as the baseline for all of them, and then everyone's included in different brackets. It is all outlined in the bylaws, so if you guys want to see a table of which GDP factors are which, GDP factors can be found in Wikipedia. I don't remember them all, and these specific brackets are found in our bylaws at wiki.ivsa.org.
It just stratifies DMOs based on their GDP. So the ones with the higher GDP pay more. Sorry, Switzerland. No, you can do literally nothing about it. Any more discussion on the base factor? Hannah. Hannah Lee Arnett. IVSA.
So I don't have to introduce myself.
You do.
Okay, Hannah Lee Barnell, IVSA SAGMA. I was wondering if the increase from 25 to 35 caused any, besides just like general concerns from member countries, from the lower GDP countries, if it was prohibitive at all for countries seeking membership for the first time, or potentially not paying their membership fees because of that increase in the base salary.
Yes, I have not seen that during my term. Most of the countries struggling to find fees, they will struggle to find 13 euros and they will struggle to find 17 euros to pay for their members. I have yet to hear of a case where it's that difference that makes them unable to pay their membership fees.
Also, when I was treasurer, the problem wasn't the amount. Usually, it was that the amount was too little to warrant the transfer fee to even send it to us. So now there are other options to transfer the money. So the transfer fees are gone, and the amount was never really like the huge issue. They were like, we can find 15 euros, we just can't get it to you. Any more discussion on the base factor? Are there any objections to keeping the base factor at 35? Hearing none, motion passes.
Daniel and I will say EXCO, I move to untable the vote on the budget for the term 2019-2020.
Any discussion on the budget Daniel presented? Okay, any objection to approving the budget? Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, to initiate meeting, no presentation.
Right, so we have 7 new MOs to present to you guys. And how it works basically is I put all of the presents on the Google Drive, so hopefully you've had a quick chance to peruse those. And we also send an application form with a bit more detail just for that application. So what we need to do is go through the presentations and at the end of it, vote for them, and if you want them to join. So first up, oh yeah, sorry. Those are the ones we're going to be voting on, and I'll go through them one by one, and we have IVSA here to present themselves. So the first one is IVSA Sivas from Turkey. So Turkey has 12 MOs already, so this will be the 13th MO. Just a little bit of information about the area. It's the second largest province in Turkey, and it's where the Kangal shepherd dog originates from. Their vet faculty was opened in 2010, and they had a large, oh sorry, that's where it is. It's part of the main university, and their vet faculty was opened in 2010, and they already have a large animal hospital. So their board consists, that's the university, The board consists of 7 members so far, and these are them. Nice grouping. So they really want to join international projects, cultural activities. They're really keen to provide exchanges, and they want to be part of the IVSA community. So it's a lot to read, so if you can get it up on your phone and have a read through, that would be good. Okay, so that was IVSA CS. The next one up is IVSA Mexico. So Mexico is part of this, is southern North America, and it's the 6th most visited country in the world. It's beautiful, it's got 34 heritage sites, including Chichen Itza. They gave us the Chihuahua, but we'll forgive them because they gave us tequila. And their vet school is in Torreon, and that's a little map of where it is. So they run the vet program alongside lots of para-veterinary degrees, and they have a well-stocked small and large clinic alongside labs and a breeding centre. There are currently 7 board members, and these are them, the pictures of animals, which I appreciate. And again, they want to learn from the world, they want to expand their knowledge. They're really keen to start exchanges and bridge the gap between other Mexican schools and Latin America. It's going to be okay. Right, and the next one is Vida in India. And this will be the 2nd MO in India. We've accepted our first in symposium in South Korea. So Vida is in the Karnataka state, and it's on the World Monument Watch list. Their vet school, that's where it is, it's at the very top. Their vet school was established in 1984 and now has 18 working departments. Because there are lots of bovines in India, their large animal clinic is very well stocked, but they do also have small animal and wildlife clinics available. And that's some pictures of their school. Currently, they have 3 board members, and these are them. I know they're shouting at us, but they want to learn and they want to partake in exchanges. And they're really keen to share veterinary education across the world and see what we can learn from each other. They want to start a journal, an e-journal, and they also want to partake in all the different cultures that we have here. There you go. The next one is IVSA Torino, and this will be the 6th MO in Italy. It's in the northwest of Italy, and the vet school is in Turin. Some beautiful pics. That's where it is. So the hospital has an emergency clinic, farm, and an abattoir, and they were either accredited in 2001. The main thing we need to know is that they have their own student vineyard. So exchanges, guys. Let's go to the vineyard. You can specialise there, but unfortunately we don't have any masters or PhD degrees at the moment. And they currently have 8 board members, and these are them. And again, they're really keen to partake in all the opportunities IVSA has. They want to come to congresses, exchanges, and take part in events. So that was IVSA Torino. And that is all of our local MOs. And now the next one is IVSA Serbia. So can we have that?
Let's move on to the presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Nina Vasic from IVSA Serbia. I'm the EO, and here you can see our logo. Well, first I'm going to say a few words about Serbia. So we're a small country in Central Balkan. You can see it here. Our country has around 7 million people, and the capital of Serbia is Belgrade with around 2 million. So when you come to Belgrade, Belgrade is famous because it lays on the confluence of two great rivers, the Danube and the Sava. And then on that confluence, you can see a great Laurel Island, and it's quite popular because during the year you can see over 250 different species of bird, and it's not usual for the capital of any country. This is the Belgrade Zoo. I decided to mention it just because we are all veterinary students here. It's not so big, but there are some interesting stories about it, and I would really like to tell you all the stories about when you come to Belgrade. This is just our German Shepherd. She used to be a hero. And this is on the first picture, you can see the Belgrade Fortress. Many battles have been fought over it, more than 100, because it was strategically important in all the wars that were here. Everyone tried to get it there, and you can see it when you come to visit us. And from this place, you can see the confluence, and there's just a beautiful view that you must not miss. On the down picture, you can see the Church of Saint Sava. It's the biggest Orthodox church in Balkan and the second biggest in the world. It is popular because it is famous because it was built on the place where the Turkish people burned relics of Saint Sava, so that place is quite important. And it was built so it can be seen from every part of Belgrade. And the thing I'm interested in is that Belgrade is nightlife, and Croatian people can confirm that because people from the region come here for the weekends, just for parties. And this is who we are. This is the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine in the University of Belgrade. Approximately 150 students enrolled every year, and this is how it looks when you graduate. But unfortunately, not everyone managed to finish it. I had to write all the departments because it was in some rules, but I assume there's no point in reading all of these. So I'm just going to show you the pictures. This is how we start. This is our anatomy museum, and it's quite popular in Belgrade because it has some interesting skeletons. For example, this one here is a skeleton of great whale. And then we just start playing with animals in the zoo because we cooperate very well. And then we get a bit more serious. This is the lab for physiology. And then a bit more serious, trying to do some PCR and microbiology. And that's the way how we slowly become doctors. And we have two programs, of course, undergraduate and postgraduate studies. And on undergraduate studies, they last 6 years. First 4 years, we study all together. And after 4 years, we divide and we choose either we want to study about companion animals, farm animals, preventive medicine, or of course, food of animal origin. And about postgraduate studies, I didn't want to write everything because there are many specialization studies. I just wrote that we have PhD that lasts 3 years and specialization studies that last 2. And okay, I think you all met Milos. Unfortunately, he's not here with us today. And this is me. Yeah, Milos is the president. And these are the other members who also couldn't be here today, but they're working hard with us. Why do we want to join IVSA? Well, of course, first of all, we want to upgrade veterinary medicine at the University of Belgrade because we think it's important. And if we don't try, we don't work hard in our studies, nobody will. The second thing we are really looking forward to are exchange programs and continuing education. For continuing education, we believe it's very important for every student from the very first year to start getting involved in it. For example, all the lectures you have on congresses, symposiums, and everything. Meeting future colleagues. Well, we believe it's important because we want to experience some different ways of studying and to gain some experience in different practices approaches. And the last but not the least, many people love learning about other cultures. So that's one more thing. And what can we offer you? Well, we can offer you a group in individual exchanges, kind students who will cost you, and opportunity to attend lectures and practical studies at our university, and of course, opportunity to learn at our university clinics. And what I mentioned before, social events and nightlife, you won't regret it. And what are we the most excited to do? Which activities in IVSA are we the most excited to take part in? Of course, group exchanges, continuing education, congresses, and for now on, our members show interest in animal welfare. And our main motivation to join IVSA is to benefit the animals and people of the world, of course. And so just give us an opportunity to show you how great and hardworking we are. So thank you for attention and hope to see you soon in Belgrade.
So much better when they present themselves. Okay, so we've got 2 more. Oh no, switch. Okay, so we've got the United Arab Emirates who want to join. So the United Arab Emirates became united in 1971, and they have the tallest buildings in the world, the Burj Khalifa. There are 7 emirates that have all joined together, and there it is on Google Earth. So the vet school is part of the United Arab Emirates University, and it was founded in 1971. Sorry, 1976. It has, alongside the vet degree, loads of para-veterinary careers that you can join. And there are currently 4 board members. And these are them. So they really want to connect with students and connect with research around the world. They're really keen to participate in IVSA activities and exchanges. They want to learn about our different cultures and traditions, and they describe themselves as very creative. So they're not, in fact, the only emirate in the Middle East, because obviously we've got lovely Turkey and Egypt, but they can definitely help to liaise between them. I was Trinidad and Tobago, they've got a flair. He's going to do more. They seem fun already. There was sound, but here we go. So there they are on the map. That's where they are.
I know. This country's sweet. I know. My trees are here. I know. I love the great vision. I know. When I can find, I work my soul back to so it's big like my river. I know. We are divine. In the morning we quarrel and in the evening we are together. I know. Like what I see, what I'm doing, I'm something about fitness. I'm not staying, I'm not poetry. I'm taking my life, so away. So come here, go jump, we get that skin that shine, that's how this is the place to go.
The University of West Indies was built in 1960. 5 different campuses around the Caribbean, but this is the only one with the best one. There were 5 board members. And they were together and shared resources, gain opportunities. They want to take part in exchanges, and they're really keen to get involved in our standing committees. Being gay on board as well.
This country's sweet.
Okay, so that was our 7 new MOs that we are going to hopefully accept. So does anyone have any questions about the process or what it means to accept new MOs or about any of the MOs in particular? Yes, Jessica.
Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. I wanted to know if the treasurer knows how high their fee would be, like if they know how much they're going to pay and how they are planning on paying that?
I'll quickly respond and then move to Daniel. So normally when they ask me, can we apply, or when I'm explaining, that's one of the first questions. So I usually get a quota from Daniel, and then that gets sent to them so they do know. Do you have time? Nothing to add? Okay. Megan.
Meg Rollins, IVSA UK and Ireland. Do they get their fees free for the first year?
So
And then they pay?
No, they don't. So after they've been accepted, they'll get an invoice from the treasurer, and they do have 2 years to pay. But otherwise, if they don't pay within 2 years, then they'll be terminated, which is a shame. If they've just been accepted, sort of thing. But yeah, they get a bit more extra time, a bit more grace period than we do, because our cut-off point is in April 1st, I think. Is that right, Daniel? Yeah.
In previous years, have they not been paid for? No? I'm sorry, I'm being confused.
There have been a few MOs who, once accepted, they do go a bit quiet. It's really hard to then keep in contact with them and get them to pay the fee. So then, in those 2 years, if they can't be contacted, then they are terminated. But there are only a few occasions of that happening. It's not something we can really prevent.
Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. The local MOs, how involved are they with their other chapters within their country? And what do the ones that have already accepted say about their local MOs?
Okay, so when a faculty wants to apply, I find out whether there are other faculties around and whether they're part of IVSA or not. So if there are, what I try to do is try to ask them, can you ask your other MOs? And if you can then do an application as a national MO, that way any future faculties in that country can then just sign up without doing the whole application thing through the GA. Once you're a national, you can accept as many local MOs, LMOs as you want. However, this isn't always an easy process. Each MO is really different, and that usually comes out in the MO meeting. And the way they run, and some MOs are really keen to collaborate. So if there are only 2 new ones in place, they're usually keen to join together because it's a starting off place. However, so we've got Torino, and it's going to be the 6th MO. In Italy, all the local MOs work really independently of each other, and they work really nicely in that way. And there would have been no benefit in this case for me to try and enforce a national application out of them when they just wanted to join. It's probably something that we're going to be aiming for in the future, but it's a long process to get that done. So years of conversation, setting up a national board, etc. I hope that answers the question. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, we all happy? Okay, so we have 4 local MOs and 3 national MOs. So I move to approve all 7 new MOs to IVSA local.
Is there any discussion on approving them? Manos?
One thing which could make a problem with IVSA Serbia. Have you thought about what's going to happen with Kosovo situation? It's a bit of a situation. But
Manos, don't talk to her.
Yes, so yeah, I would like to ask the EXCO whether they have thought of how they would deal whether a situation with Kosovo comes up, whether I suppose that if Kosovo decides to join, those DMOs doing an amazing work, and all of the work with the IVSA. Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you. She's checking on something and she'll be right back.
As long as they're not saying they don't want to.
We're just pausing. Tavishi?
which kind of IVSA expert. We already have IVSA Kosovo, and if we're honest, it's not something that Expo has discussed potential problems. It's probably one of those things that if something happens, it's a bridge we're crossing with that. However, thank you for the point to be raised. It's probably something that should be discussed, but at this point, it's not something that is sort of worth delving into, because it's probably
Let's talk about that.
Nina Vasitevich in Serbia. I didn't want to make any trouble. I put Kosovo as it's still part of Serbia because Serbia didn't accept Kosovo as the new country. And I just wanted to ask, are they members, like real members of the IVSA? Wow. Okay. Then they'll have their own email. I don't have nothing to.
Thank you. Did you still want to speak?
Lorraine from Planta, IVSA Switzerland. I think that such like problems shouldn't be part of IVSA because we are one family, and yeah, we care for animals and not for war. So peace is better.
Okay, thank you. Jessica?
Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. Point of information, could somebody clarify, so Serbia used to be an IVSA member and Kosovo still is an active IVSA member?
Tsubishi?
Sorry, Serbia was a terminated member because they didn't pay for 2 years, so they were terminated last year, and that's when I reached out to our friends and now that we applied to get full access again, and Kosovo is a full paying active member.
Sure, Jessica.
So there was a time where Kosovo, Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. So there was a time where Kosovo and Serbia were both active members at IVSA and there was no problem.
Yeah. It seems like Serbia didn't know that Kosovo was a member, but they were. Are there any other questions from someone who hasn't spoken? Crystal?
Several IVSA friends. I just want to know if Kosovo is actually a national email or not. I don't know. It's a local. So probably it's not a political problem right now because it's just a local email. It's not officially a separate country. So it's not like, it's not an actual issue. It could be one day, but right now it's not. Just to reassure Serbia.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else, Christy?
Christina Mazil, IVSA in Greece. As a Kosovo is an active member, and Serbia is an active member as well. Shouldn't they first have an agreement between them, like if they want to be a national MO, and after that?
Thank you. Yeah, we're IVSA, not the government of Serbia and Kosovo, but we'll get them together. Lisa.
Lisa Bureau, IVSA Netherlands. We've had this issue before. I think IVSA China and IVSA Taiwan are perfect examples showing that we can resolve issues like this.
Thank you. Maria? You have to stand up. Don't forget. Very important.
Mariana Suñé, IVSA Spain. I was wondering when they have like a right to vote here, are they gonna be like having the same vote, or would they like be representing different countries?
Okay, thank you. Okay, any person?
First in Abraham, IVSA, Austria, actually Kosovo was accepted to be an independent state, so they would have a vote for a country named Kosovo, and obviously Serbia.
Independent state in what context?
Yes.
In what context?
So, sorry, I just Googled it.
Uh-huh.
I just need to translate it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
From the UN.
Okay. Great, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone more to say? Ellen? Ellen?
Ellen Hernandez, IVSA Saba. Since Serbia was an active
Ellen,
member,
you have to talk to me, not to anyone else.
since they were an active member before and they weren't able to pay, I just want to know if they're able to do that now or if it will happen again where they're not able to pay after 2 years.
Okay, thank you. You can talk.
IVSA Serbia used to be run by somebody else, and for this time I'll pay personally if the faculty doesn't help. So don't worry about the fees.
Julia Neves, I live in Switzerland. Just coming back real quick. So for the payment, which GDP is used? Is there a separate GDP for Kosovo and a separate GDP factor
Okay.
for Serbia?
According to Kristen, they're separate independent states. According to the UN, we're going to use the UN.
All right.
So they would have separate GDPs and they'd be considered separate in IVSA. What? They said it is. Is it not? Are they- If you want to speak, raise your hand. It's not my decision. Okay. Anyone want to speak that hasn't spoken? Okay, Nina, go ahead.
Since the whole, Nina, IVSA Serbia. Since the whole situation with Kosovo is a bit tricky, do you mind if I just speak with them and talk and deal with everything, and then we'll just inform you about what we can do. And now I'm supposed to say something like I motion too, but I don't know those
It's fine.
rules
You
yet.
could just, I don't think it needs a motion, right?
Wait.
No, you're good. Okay, anyone else want to speak? Maria, go ahead.
Mariana Suñé is in Spain. Are you gonna use in the future the United Nations to determine if a country is independent or it's not?
Thank you. Okay, any more questions? Elvin?
Elvin Oldenburg is in the Netherlands. It is in our constitution that we have our members according to UN member states. So yeah, it is. It's not.
Marion, you can't speak. Stop, please stop. Okay, you have to raise your hand and then speak only when I call on you. Daniel.
Daniel Lund, IVSA EXCO Parliamentary Inquiry. What exactly does the bylaws and constitution state?
Okay, Brandon.
Okay, the Constitution of IVSA says only member organizations have the right to vote. A country is defined by an entity which is a state according to Article 1 of the 1933 Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States, and is in addition acknowledged by at least one United Nations member state. The bylaws specifically do not mention anything about UN membership, UN anything. It just describes that member organizations apply, the process of application, and that MOs are approved by the GA.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on approving these 7 MOs? Jackie Chan.
Hi, Jackie Chan from IVSA UK Ireland. I just want to, it's unrelated questions. I just want to ask about the membership fee for each nation, each MO. For example, if you've got 5 current local MOs in one country, do they all divide the membership fee for the whole nation? And if there's a 6th local MO joining into the membership, how does it work? Do they just divide the whole fee by 6, or do they each pay the same amount?
Fees decided based on number of members. So if you add another MO, you'd have more members, and then they would pay that portion of the national fee. Like, yeah, they're national. That's what he asked.
Yeah, as in like.
Did we answer your question or no? Is there more question? You can keep going.
I'm a bit confused, sorry. So supposing like Italy, you charge them, is the membership fee for the whole nation or just individual university? That's my question.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not they're national MO. If they're national MO, then it's one fee, and they have to split up who's paying into the national fee. But Italy doesn't have a national MO, so each MO is charged a fee individually.
But is it
better?
Because I've got one vote.
Here,
yeah,
yes, yeah. Okay. Try to keep all questions and comments directly related to voting on these 7 MOs, please. Are there any questions or comments related to these 7 MOs? Checking in.
Okay, Joseph again. I don't understand what Brandon just said. Could you explain that, please?
Okay, so I will explain this to the best of my ability because I'm here trying to look some of this up, and as often happens when we have this type of conversation, it doesn't always make the most sense. Basically, an MO is decided on by the GA. As far as an MO joining IVSA, the GA decides that. The Constitution refers to voting, and as you know, you vote as a country, and it defines country as an entity in which a state, according to Article 1, well, the Montevideo Convention refers to the United States of Latin America. So I don't really know how that, I'm still trying to figure out how that refers to the rest of the world as well. And then and being acknowledged by at least one other UN member state is basically that whole sentence is just referring to how we define country in IVSA when it comes to voting. Does that make sense?
So what's that?
This sentence, I'm not saying it makes the most sense, I'm saying this is what it is.
Okay, thank you. Crystal.
So during IVSA France, I just want to add something about like the issue about Serbia and Kosovo. We have actually like the same kind of situation with Taiwan and China. It doesn't like raise any issues. So I don't want.
Crystal, it's already been said just a minute ago.
Yeah. So why are we like longing on that problem? That's why I just thought like everyone was forgetting that comment. That's why it was like I used again.
Thank you. Elwin?
I just said Netherlands, I moved to the previous question.
Thank you. So I know defining it. He moved the previous question, which means there can be no more discussion on this, and we go directly to a card raising vote. So can everyone find their cards, please? The green ones and the red ones. You need 2 green ones, 2 red ones. You shouldn't be talking. Just find green cards and red cards. Does anybody not have their green cards and red cards? We can't stop for this. We gotta keep going. Okay. Green cards and red cards. We're gonna vote.
So I'm just going to put it on the global page. Just hope I spelled everything good. It's nice.
Second.
Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections to standing at ease? Are you objecting to standing at ease?
No.
If you object to standing at ease, we have to go to a vote again. Okay, great. There's no objections, we're at ease. Now, Lisa, you can talk if you want to. Oh, do not leave the room, stay where you are. We're just figuring something out. Yeah, buddies, go talk to your countries. Okay, everybody pay attention. We're still at ease, but I want to explain what we're doing. Okay, everybody look at me. You can do it. Everybody look. You will be very confused if you don't listen. So Ellen moved the previous question, and what we have to vote on immediately is moving the previous question. So what you're going to say is, do you want to continue debating, which would be red cards, or do you want to move the previous question, green cards? So moving the previous question, it's just like, do we want to keep debating the MOs, or do we want to vote on them right now? Yeah, so green would be, let's vote right now on the MOs. Red would be, let's keep talking about them. I love this debate. And then after that, if we get all the greens, then we'll vote again on the MOs. And we need a 2/3 majority to move the previous question. If anybody's confused, ask.
It's nice, man. We should just put IVSA break or Belgrade.
Okay, can everybody sit down, please? One person from each country, hold your cards. One person does the voting, okay? I'm gonna repeat it one more time in case anybody's unclear. Green cards, if you raise them, you have 2 of them. If you raise green cards, it means we're going to vote on the MOs. It isn't voting on the MOs, it means you'd like to vote now. Red card means I want to discuss them more. Green card, vote. Red card, discussion. Okay? Are you guys ready? We can do this. The chair calls the GA back to order at 11:04 Croatia time. We will now do a card raising vote on moving the previous question. If you're in agreement with moving the previous question, raise your green cards. Okay, put them down. If you're in opposition, raise your red cards. Okay, with a 2/3 majority, the previous question is moved. Now we'll do a card raising vote on approving these 7 MOs. If you want to approve the 7 MOs, you'll raise your green cards. If you do not want to approve the 7 MOs, raise your red cards. Okay? You guys can do this. To approve the 7 MOs, raise your green cards now. Cards down. If you'd like to not approve them, raise your red cards. Okay? Motion passes, all 7 MOs are approved. Also, I'm very proud of you because that's normally a mess and that went pretty smoothly.
That was good.
All approved, look at that. Approved, we approved that. We're gonna get music again too. Okay. Next up on the agenda, MOs pending GA approval. Feature.
Did you call it back to us?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Okay, so there's 2 MOUs that's pending J approval. So just to recap, MOU is a memorandum of understanding that IVSA signs with external partners or sponsors. It basically outlines the collaboration opportunities and many other legal aspects, as well as the duration. So if an MOU is being signed for less than 1 year's duration, it's presented to the executive committee and it can be approved and signed then just by the EXCO. If it's longer than 1 year duration, then it needs to be presented to the General Assembly, which is you guys, either at Congress or symposium, and then you need to go through it and we can open the floor for discussion and questions. And if there are any amendments that you would like to request, that can be added. And then, in essence, we're trying to get it approved, taking all of your comments and opinions into consideration. So, we're going to start with Vetbooks for Africa. Charlotte mentioned earlier what the project entails. It's a group of veterinary students that travels through Africa. They're all from South Africa, a group of 8 students. And they visit around 6 or 7 veterinary faculties around the southern eastern regions of Africa. It's quite a big project and they do make a big difference. Every 2 years they drive up Africa where they deliver books that they collected for about a 2-year period, as well as veterinary equipment and everything. So I'm just going to play you guys a video about the trip first. All right.
No, the tech guy. The tech, yeah. Yeah, it will be working. But it's sometimes I tried.
Okay, so again, there's some technical difficulties. We're gonna play the video and then play the music over the phone, and then try and sync them. Adapt, improvise, overcome. Right.
I would like to just ask, maybe it's in the mixer, if you go to the mixer, the player itself can be muted, but the whole sound. Or we can see. Click right on the sound icon. No, I mean like when you.
I already did that.
Sorry.
No, but I did that.
Right? Another time.
If you can fix it on the fly, that's incredible.
Haven't you worked in the flight? No. In the flight? Good.
It's literally every other YouTube. Yeah. No, that video just has no sound.
Okay, let's try it. I'll play the music from my phone, so it will be a bit soft, but yeah, it's.
It doesn't matter except for YouTube.
Yes.
It's not a thing.
Here I go. 2, 1, go.
Okay, so as you can see, it's quite a nice initiative. It's a lot of fun, but also a lot of hard work. It takes 2 years to raise enough funds and equipment and books and everything. So the Picture Africa has got a lot of external sponsors and then partners such as IVSA. So for example, last year, what we did is we arranged the first ever global fundraising week for them. It was around November, where we asked all the local MOs to do local fundraising activities, and then that money was then matched by the development fund. That really helped to just give them the fast edge to make the trip possible. And they went in December 2018, so quite recently. So in the meantime, a new committee has been selected, and the new trip will be, or the next trip will be end of 2020. So we revised the MOU and we want to sign it for the next 2 years. So after they have done the trip, after they've returned. So what we did different with this MOU is we focused a bit more in detail on what we exactly want to collaborate on, because there's a lot of opportunities. So IVSA provides, in essence, global exposure to them in terms of you guys and your local MOs to raise funds or to donate equipment or books to the initiative. And then thereby when they do visit these African countries, they get a way to get the name of IVSA out to these different universities. Because as you all know, IVSA is quite a big organization worldwide, but it's unfortunately not as well represented from Africa. So that's what we're trying to achieve, is to improve the veterinary education in this country through this great initiative that we are currently busy with. So the MOUs was on Google Drive. I don't know if you guys read through it. We can quickly just skim through it briefly, and then at the end I will open the floor for any questions or discussions. Shira?
Sure, it sounds obviously since it is a partnership, I want to know that with more obviously being unfaithful to African community, how are you going to gauge what you're getting out of it as obviously?
Okay, so as you will see, sorry. Okay, so what Shira asked is, assuming that when looking at the new South African team, there's no student on the team that's actively part of IVSA South African since IVSA Global, as was previously. So we have discussed it with the Redbooks team. We will assign someone on the team that will be in contact with the MOD, and we'll make sure that the information being shared will channel through that particular person, which we have decided on. So in essence, we'll try. Actually, there is one person that was part of IVSA South Africa for a while. That's not part. Andre. So he's not anymore, but he was part. So we'll just channel the information through him. All right. So you guys can just read through it, and we'll just slowly go through everything, and then at the end you can answer or ask questions. There is going to slowly go through everything. If we go too fast, just put up your hands and can we ask the questions at the end? Is the question because we're going too fast, or?
No, it's more like emotion. Should we bring this like on our own as boards?
It was uploaded to the Google Drive at the start of the symposium. It's just a chance for everyone, for those that have not read it, to get a chance to read it. So, yeah, to make sure everybody has a good answer. All right, is everybody done reading through it? Any questions? Megan? Thomas? Thomas?
Just yell that.
Netherlands, IVSA UK and Ireland. I think before this issue, not an IVSA member, or was really quite a lot into this MOU, and it's got a high GAD. Do we include in the MOU?
Meg Rollins, IVSA UK and Ireland. As the South Africans said that there's an issue this year that the committee doesn't have anyone active on IVSA, and we also put in quite a lot of time and effort into this. The GAD does a lot. We contribute quite a lot to this project. Do you think it's worth including an MOU that, like, there is a requirement that a few of their committee members should be active in IVSA, or do you not think that that is our prerogative to do that?
Okay, so based on the past experience, I was part of the Network Africa Committee in 2016. I was also at the time part of IVSA South Africa, so that link was already there. After me, 2018, because Weideman was part of the Network Africa Committee, he was also an IVSA member, but at the time of the trip, he was also resigned from his IVSA position due to increased responsibilities. So it will be a similar setting to what last year happened, as a past IVSA member being in charge, but not being actively involved in IVSA. And from what the trip managed to achieve, everything works well. So of course we will ensure, both myself and Charlotte, that we put an extensive handover document of what exactly needs to be included and done in the next couple of months, and to explain what is in the MOU in more detail.
It's not really so much that they wouldn't be able to do it or understand it, just that kind of we the benefits for IVSA doing it if they're not an IVSA member, if that makes sense. I think it's good for us to kind of share the words and put our thing, they know it's IVSA, but actually having IVSA members going.
So from my experience, I don't think it needs to be included in the MOU. The MOU is more trying to keep it as concise as possible. There are many other things that's more in detail that will, like I said, be in the handover document. And the contract is signed between IVSA and Networks for Africa as a team as a whole. So not just individual members. So in essence, they will all benefit from this collaboration of IVSA. So can you just inform me about what you're going to do now? So I'm going to do the video as I'd like to make a motion to approve the MOU for Networks for Africa. Okay, now we're going to do discussion. Just so we do everything right. Yes, Anika.
The discussion should be under a motion. Otherwise, it's not discussing
Okay, I'm Nicole from IVSA South Africa. I just want to add to what Megan said. I think it would really make it beneficial if there is a member of Networks for Africa being an active IVSA member. The reason why I say that is one of the other members of IVSA of Red Books for the previous term was Natasha von Tonder, and she was an active member of IVSA, and she was an active member of the school committee. She was a committee member, and she did a lot of effort to advertise animal welfare and advertise the school committee, also through the universities. So I was just thinking maybe it would really be beneficial, especially if we can collaborate not only with the MOD, but also with the CC in order to spread
all the activities that the committees are busy with in terms of, especially One Health is a very important concept in Africa as well, and stuff that they're doing, all the committees doing. So I just want to add to what Megan's saying. I think it would be really good.
Just really quickly to clarify with what you're able to do now, since there's a motion to approve this, if you want to make a change like that, the only way to do it is to make a motion to amend this and give us the wording and actually put it in. So the discussion can still happen, but at some point you would need to make a motion because Peter can't just decide to add something in here now. It's the GAs to change, just for clarity. You go.
Thank you. I think Martha was next.
Martha Amash, IVSA expert. So I just want to clarify a few things based on Megan's question and then on Inka's response. Even though it is beneficial, let me just backtrack a bit. So we have IVSA board members in South Africa, and then we have IVSA members, and we have IVSA global members. Most of the students going on the VetLook South Africa trip are IVSA members. They're not necessarily board members, but they are members of IVSA. Okay, so they're not necessarily actively involved in the board in IVSA South Africa or actively involved in IVSA Global, but they are still members. And then we like to have one of the people going on VetLook South Africa involved in IVSA Global. That's always encouraged, and that is what we want because it does prove to have a lot of benefits, but it's not a requirement. And in my opinion, it's not something that I think we should necessarily write into the MOU because it restricts VetLook South Africa quite a lot in terms of selecting their committee, especially because this is a 2-year commitment and not just a 1-year commitment from VetLook South Africa side. So I just wanted to clarify those few points that were discussed earlier.
Thank you. Alwyn.
I said Netherlands. Since this MOU will be actually take effect on the 1st of August of this year, Magda should technically be the one signing it as she's still president at that time. Can that be friendly amendment or do you need to make a motion for that? So friendly amendment replace Ellen Melbourne, IVSA president 2020, with Magda Mayash, IVSA president 2018-2019.
Is Jenna.
Jenna Robinson, IVSA South Africa. I'm a member of the board for IVSA South Africa, and I'm not sure how to word this, but a suggestion. I know what Magda said, instead of having, say, for example, a board member, because that does limit VetLooks, can we not add something about that they have to collaborate with the MO of South Africa as well? Because I know me personally, as the exchange officer, we're doing a lot of work trying to get involved with African countries and maybe talking about African exchanges and stuff like that. And I think in a way we're kind of doing the same thing, kind of. So if it would work or be able to be added that we do some kind of collaboration with the MO as well as the MO.
Okay. That was also a point that we discussed in our meeting. It's not necessarily written in, but that is something that would be added over. You would like to include that into the MOU phrase? Okay. I just want to give Charlotte also the other reply to that as well.
Charlotte Glowry, IVSA Exco. So I just wanted to let you all know a little bit the story behind it as well. Our intentions are like what we want to get out of it is to have more name in the African countries and to get them involved, because that's been a major problem up until now. So one of the issues that have been raised that we got as feedback from VetLook South Africa as well
is that they find it very hard to know what to do, who to contact, where to go to, and how to sign up, and then like it will go down again. So that enthusiastic moment will leave. So the reason why we set it up like this, because we really discussed that we wanted the South African MO more involved. One, to include it in the MOU is going to be a very, very strict thing. You can make agreements aside of the MOU. And two, first of all, the contact between the MOD and Veterans for Africa is the most important, so that they have the main structure, and from that, they can go to the South African MO. I think that would be the best structure to handle it and to make it as simple as possible for them, a new possible MO. So that's just what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Good, Jenna. Okay. Are there any other questions regarding the MOU? No?
Okay, really quick. We're about to move to table this because they might want to make that change. They don't have the wording ready yet. So we're going to give them time to do it. And while they come up with the wording of the amendment, we're going to start the next MOU, if that makes sense. Just so you know why we're doing what we're doing. And this will also include a coffee break. Or a break. Is there coffee? Sure, there's coffee. Okay. So the chair will now entertain a motion to table this motion. Kylie? Any discussion? Oh, thank you. Good job, everyone. Any discussion on tabling this discussion? No, any objections to tabling? Hearing none, it is tabled. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess for 15 minutes. Ina. Great. Any discussion on going into recess? Yeah, sure. Katie. Sit down. We're not in recess yet.
So those MOUs were posted on the Google Drive, and this Google Drive was posted on Facebook. But I feel like we should have, sorry, my brain's a bit fried. We should have received it earlier or through email because if it's on Facebook and in a group, there's more and more messages, and it's really hard to find the Google Drive. And if we are discussing on such important things, I feel like we should have received it earlier, not only on the Facebook group and the email.
Okay, thank you. Technically out of order, but I'll let you get it out anyway because we're talking about recess. But noted. Thank you. Any more discussion on going into recess? Any objections? Hearing none, we're in recess for 15 minutes. Please be back at noon. 12. 12. Okay, 12 in this room. Not 12:05. 12.
I live